Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing some cooking mama nails. I want to go ahead and start by apologizing for not posting videos for quite some time. I have actually been extremely busy and I haven't quite got around to making too much content lately, but I'm hopefully starting to get back on track now. I am using the medium square full cover nail tips from NailzByDev. I'm also using her gel polish color Dreamy. I did do the first layer of gel on camera. I did go ahead and cure, and I did the second layer off camera. I want to quickly tell you guys about the reference photo. I did create this because I wanted something very unique. I wanted a lot of 3D aspect for this, and as you can see, I am going to be making some 3D charms for this set, and I'm so excited to show you guys this. For the thumb and pinky nail, these are pretty simple. They are half plaid nails and they do have rhinestone placement, which is inspired by my nail bestie, Nails by Lindsay. Definitely go and follow her if you're not already. The middle fingernail is a character. This is Cooking Mama herself. And for the index and ring fingernail, these are going to be 3D sculpted food. So after curing the second layer of gel polish, I'm going to go ahead and start on Cooking Mama. I will be using the color Baby Doll for her skin tone. I'll also be using the Veeda short liner brush. I really love these nail art brushes. They're definitely my go-to. You guys can use my discount code KC to save a little bit of money. Using the skin color, I'm going to go ahead and draw a pretty big circle, and also I'm going to do some ears on the side of the head. I will be adding her neck down in the center of the circle on the bottom. And going down just a little bit and to the side, we are going to be doing her hands. Her hands are together, kind of like she's like clapping. I don't know how to describe this, but her hands are together. Next, I am taking the color Cocoa Puff and I'm going to go ahead and do her hair. Pretty much most of the hair that shows for her face are her bangs, and you do want to focus pretty closely on the shape and size of each thing that you're painting. That way you can make it as close to your reference photo as possible. She also has very short hair, which is sticking out just behind her ear and the lower part of her head. Anytime I make a mistake, I just take a little bit of rubbing alcohol and my oopsie brush from Veeda and just go ahead and wipe up the uncured gel. It is so easy to clean up mistakes with this brush. I definitely recommend it. After curing that, I am taking Dev's Bugaboo gel polish, which is a really vibrant pink color, and I'm going to do some areas of her bandana. Before I cure that, I am taking some peaches and cream, and I'm going to add this in the areas that I didn't place the darker pink. I am going to be slightly ombreing these two colors together using the nail art brush. Once I have the bandana done, I did go ahead and cure, and now I'm taking the color Whiteout, and I'm going to be doing some very tiny dots within her bandana. I do believe these are kind of like sparkles or glitter. I don't exactly remember as I'm doing the voiceover, but I am just doing some little dots. By the way, I'm going to go ahead and stop telling you guys every time I cure, but it's basically in between each of the colors. I'm also going to go ahead and start on her clothes, so I am starting by drawing out her collar. After that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to her arm as well as her shoulder. I have to say, this area of the character was probably the hardest part for me. Just because it's so tiny, it seems to get a little bit confusing as you're painting it, but honestly, even this part is not that hard. Now taking the gel polish color Sunny D, I'm going to go ahead and paint on her apron. Now taking Pool Party, I'm going to be using this for her jeans. It was at this point that I realized I was either making things a little bit too long, too big, or I placed her a little bit too far down because I don't think I really had enough room to finish out her legs and shoes, but I just kind of made it fit. Now taking Black Cherry, which is a very, very dark brown color, I'm going to go ahead and start painting on her facial features. I love drawing eyes like this. I feel like they're so fun to do. It's not too hard to get them to look very similar, and they're just really fun to me, so I really enjoyed this part of drawing out the character. Of course, I will be doing the other eye as well. After I've outlined her eyes, I am going to go ahead and fill them in. Now I'm going to start on her mouth, and this is going to look a little bit crazy until we add some color in it. but I'm just kind of outlining it as close to the reference photo as possible. I don't think I made some of the proportions right because I was kind of struggling to fit her mouth on her face. Several days later. Okay, so I had to take quite some time off and my nails did change. Look how pretty these cat eyes from NailzByDev are. I also got the Veeda Bella Artista palette. This is absolutely gorgeous. I'm so excited to start using this. So going back with Black Cherry, I'm going to place some of this on the palette. Of course, I'm going back with my short liner brush and we're going to start outlining this character. I do have to say the reason I took so many days to finish this nail set, especially that gap that I had right there, was I got extremely unmotivated. I also had a lot of stuff going on and I just kept putting it off. So this set definitely took me way too long, probably like a week and a half just to create it. And I've been kind of procrastinating because this is a lot to edit as well. And I have something pretty big planned. So I just haven't quite had the time to sit down and really focus on this set, which is a shame because it's so cute. I love how this nail set turned out. Also, the finished footage for the set has been just sitting there for like a week, waiting for me to have time to sit down and do a voiceover. So yeah, I am very excited to finally be able to start moving on with the editing of this video. I'm also going to go ahead and add on her little pocket on the apron. Using the colored cherry wood, I am going to place some of this down on the palette as well. And this is going to be the color that I use for the background of her mouth. Taking the gel liner color Strawberry Milk from NailzByDev, do make sure to give these liners a really good mix before you use them. I'm going to use this for her tongue. Taking the Veeda Bella white gel paint, I'm going to use this for her teeth, which is just a very long white line on the top of her mouth. I'm also going to go ahead and do these stars in her eyes. These are basically just the famous 4 pointed stars. I love drawing these, they're so fun. It is a little bit hard to get them very even, especially if you have to do it in a very tiny area like this, but I love how she has stars in her eyes. Now taking the color Cotton Candy, I'm going to use this to add some blue shading on her shirt. Honestly, I was being a little bit lazy at this point. I should have mixed up a darker blue for like the shadows. Anyway, I'm now taking the color I'm Sprung for the pinky. I am doing the half plaid nail, so I'm just going ahead and painting the right half of the nail. This is going to be on the outside of the hand. I personally like to make the design portion on the outside of the hand rather than the inside. I do believe that is just a personal preference. I am trying to make the line in the center very straight, but honestly I'm not extremely worried about it because I will be cleaning up the line and making it very straight using the Oopsie brush. I did go ahead and cure that, and now I'm taking the gel color My Boo and I'm going to place this down on my palette. Taking the longer side of the short liner brush, I'm going to go ahead and start doing the plaid design. Now, Veeda Bella does have a really good long liner, but as you guys may know, I don't personally work very well with very long liner brushes. I don't know what it is. I think I just need to practice with it. It is not the brush at all. It is completely me. I've never worked well with long liner brushes. So I am just using the longer side of the short liner brush. Typically, the reason that you want to use a longer brush for very long and straight lines is because the bristles actually absorb some of the shakes from your hand. So typically the longer liner brushes will make your lines look a little bit better. For these vertical lines, for the plaid design, I am making them a little bit thick. They're not very thick, but they're thick enough for me to add a square in between where all of the lines intersect. After doing the vertical lines, I'm going to go ahead and draw the horizontal ones. Once I have all of the horizontal lines, I did go ahead and cure that. I did end up mixing some of the pink polishes together to get a perfect shade that I was looking for these squares of the plaid design. So basically all of the areas where the horizontal and vertical lines meet is where you're going to draw a square. This design is not too hard, but it is a little bit time consuming. I did go ahead and do all of these squares off camera and I went ahead and cured. Now going back with the Veeda white gel paint, I'm going to go ahead and do the outline. So basically, I'm just drawing a line going down the center of the nail. This is going to help hide any of the imperfections from the pink layer that you did with the gel polish. After curing all of the gel polish, I am taking these light pink rhinestones. I do believe I got these from Amazon. I'm also using the McCart rhinestone glue. I love the bottle of this. It's very easy to apply rhinestones with. And we're just going to start the rhinestone application. I'm also going to add a very small amount of the rhinestone glue to the center of the middle fingernail at the cuticle, and I'm going to place some small circular rhinestones here. I did kind of put too much gel, so I'm just going to take a liner brush just to try to wipe away some of the excess. Now taking my current favorite matte gel top coat, this is the Velvet Matte Top Coat from Cheyenne's Nails, and I'm going to go ahead and top coat around the rhinestones. Be very careful whenever you apply a matte gel top coat around your rhinestones. If you get any of this gel on the rhinestone, it is going to completely take away all of the sparkle, and it doesn't usually look good, so try to be very careful when applying a matte top coat. And of course, I will be top coating the Cooking Mama nail as well. I love top coating characters. It is so satisfying and it really brings the whole nail design together. Whether you are doing matte or glossy, it just really looks so much better after applying a top coat. Keep in mind that applying matte top coats to characters really starts to show the imperfections of your nail art, especially the blending. So if you are kind of new to doing characters and you don't feel like your shading or line work is that great, definitely stick with a glossy gel top coat. So here are the nails. I went ahead and took another like 2 or 3 day break. And I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the thumbnail. This is the exact same thing as the pinky nail, except the plaid design is on the other half of the nail. And just because you guys have already seen this, I'm going to fly through this pretty quickly. Now we're going to be doing the 3D nail art, so I'm taking light nude Trippy Gel from NailzByDev. This is essentially a Nailtex Play-Doh. It does have a pretty similar consistency as Play-Doh, but it is a gel. I am going to be using the NailzByDev silicone tool to sculpt out the gel. Do make sure not to touch this product with your bare hands. If you have to touch it, please do wear gloves. This will prevent you from getting contact dermatitis from uncured gel. I almost forgot, but I did go ahead and apply the matte gel top coat to the base of the nail, just because I don't really want to have to go around the 3D art to apply the top coat after doing the design. So taking a pretty big amount of the Trippy Gel, I'm going to go ahead and roll this into a ball. I'm going to place this down on the Veeda palette. I will be using the Tones Polygel application brush. Using the spatula of this brush, I'm just going to go ahead and flatten out my tortilla. I thought it was so funny to make food with nail products. Like, you kind of want to eat it, but you definitely shouldn't. I'm just going to go ahead and place this down in the center of the nail, and I'm going to go ahead and reshape it just a little bit because it did get a little misformed. So once I have these circles smoothed out, I am going to go ahead and fold up the sides of the taco. I will be doing 3 shrimp tacos for this nail design. I do want to say that this is actually a recipe that I made in real life. These are spicy shrimp avocado tacos. They are so good. Definitely recommend to make it if you like any of the ingredients in this recipe. I will have it linked down below as well. It is from Pinterest. So I'm just going to go ahead and do 2 more tortillas for these tacos. Of course, once I have all 3 done, I did go ahead and cure. Now I'm taking the neon green and white trippy gel, and I'm going to be mixing these two together to get a pastel green color. For this, we are going for a cabbage colored green. I'm just placing this down in the center of the tacos. This is cabbage, so it does have quite a bit of texture, so I am just going ahead and poking some holes in this. Most of this will end up being covered up, but I do want to try to make each step just how I did the actual recipe. Next, I am taking the red and orange trippy gel, and we're going to be making the shrimp. This was probably the hardest part of this specific nail because I kind of struggled to get the perfect shrimp color. For these smaller shrimp that are going to go on the taco, I did them quite a bit differently than I did the big shrimp charm. So I'm just going ahead and mixing some of the red and orange trippy gel together. So taking a little bit of this marbled trippy gel color, I'm going to place this down on the cabbage, and we're going to shape this into a little shrimp. I will be doing 3 shrimp for this taco. Typically for the real life ones, I was able to fit about 4 or 5. Just depends on how big you want your actual taco, but for the nail design, I was only able to fit about 2 or 3. Looking back at this nail design, and I did kind of notice it as I was doing it, but I did not want to spend that much more time trying to get the exact perfect color. These shrimp are too red, so if I was to do this again, I would definitely make these shrimp a little bit more orange, or try to mix in a little bit of brown just to make it look a little bit more like cooked shrimp. After curing, I am going in with the micro detail brush, and I'm going to add a little bit of the white gel paint to the inside of the shrimp. And I did this because for the big shrimp nail charm, I did kind of use a little bit of white, so I wanted to kind of try to tie them together a little bit more rather than just having extremely red shrimp. Taking the green trippy gel, I went to go ahead and mix this with a little bit of the lighter green shade that I've already mixed up because I don't want to be wasting any product. I'm going to roll this into a very, very thin hot dog shape. For this step, I am trying to make the spicy avocado cream that goes over top of the shrimp tacos. I do feel like this step made the shrimp tacos look very unrealistic, but I didn't quite know how else to do it, so this is just what I did for my shrimp tacos. I'm just taking the green hot dog shape and I'm going to place these over top of my shrimp tacos. I was struggling quite a bit at this point and I was very ready to finish this nail design. I have to say I wasn't the biggest fan of how this looked over my shrimp tacos, but I didn't know what else to do and I didn't want to sit and think of something else to try to make it look a little bit better. I was also very frustrated and ready to just finish this nail already, so I just kind of left it how I was doing it. I did go ahead and cure that. I'm now taking the NailzByDev Shiny Gel Top Coat and the longer side of the Micro Detailer brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and top coat the inside of the shrimp tacos. And this is how the 3D shrimp taco nail is looking. So for the index nail, I'm going to start by taking the white trippy gel and I'm going to mix a very, very tiny amount of the black trippy gel in. I'm trying to make a off-white color. I don't want gray, so I did have a lot more white than I did black. Using this color, I'm going to go ahead and sculpt out the rectangle plate. This you want to make pretty big. It's going to span pretty much the entire nail. Looking back now, I do wish I would have made this a little bit longer just because the cream puffs were pretty big. I wasn't that great at sizing out the cream puffs for the plate, but it is still a pretty good size. Off camera, I did make some indentations to make this look a little bit more like a plate and less like a white rectangle. I'm going to go ahead and make 3 very small cream puffs. I am making all of these cream puffs exactly how I do the 3D cream puff dangle charm. They're just smaller and don't have the hook in the middle. I will be showing that at the end of the nail design. I'm taking a very, very tiny bead of the baby blue trippy gel as well as the red trippy gel, and I'm placing this at the edge of the plate. This is supposed to be the berries for the plate decoration. After curing my cream puffs, I am taking NailzByDev's little baby blender and the Veeda white gel paint to dab on the tops of the cream puffs. You do want to make this pretty blended because this is kind of like powdered sugar. I think it's powdered sugar, but it's like a little decoration on the top of them just to make them look a little bit more realistic. After curing, I am going back with the matte top coat to apply to the cream puffs. Taking my rhinestone gel again, I'm going to go ahead and apply 3 globs of this on the plate, and this is how I'm going to be adhering the cream puffs to the plate. This part was so satisfying. I definitely plan to make more nail charms and just glue them onto nails. I really enjoyed making all of these 3D charms for my nails. This set felt so extra and I really loved it. After applying the cream puffs, I did go ahead and cure. I did go ahead and apply the cuticle rhinestones to the 3D food nails, and this is what the nail set is looking like. So pretty, but we do have the 3D nail charms. So we have the frying egg pan, a shrimp, as well as the 3D cream puff. I want to go ahead and show you guys how to make the 3D cream puff dangle nail charm. I'm going to be mixing light beige and brown chirpy gel to try to get a color that is similar to the cream puff color. This was probably the most difficult part for me for this entire nail set because I suck really bad at mixing colors to get a specific color that I'm looking for, and this color was just very hard for me to do. I definitely do not think the color turned out that great, but it does look good enough. You can tell what they are, so I'm fine with it. I will be using a nail form from NailzByDev to sculpt out the cream puffs on. I am going back in with some of the light beige, white, as well as yellow. I am trying to make the center cream color. This again was pretty hard for me to color match. I went ahead and took a pretty small amount of the first color that I mixed up, and I'm placing this down on the nail form. I'm going to go ahead and shape this into a little square. We are starting with the bottom of the cream puff. You probably should cure it just to make sure the entire thing fully cures, but I am just doing this all in one go. So I'm going ahead with the center cream color and I'm placing this down in the middle. Going back with the first chirpy gel color that I mixed, I'm going to go ahead and do the top of the cream puff. So I did get these very small hook jewelry things from Amazon specifically for making 3D nail charms. And I'm going to take one of these and place it down the center of the cream puff. Once I have that placed, I'm going to re-sculpt the cream puff just to try to get it as best as possible. I did go ahead and cure the cream puff dangle charm. The frying egg pan is so easy to do. I am just starting with the black trippy gel. I'm taking a pretty good amount of this and I'm placing it down on the nail form. You just want to go ahead and start with the frying pan shape. So this is a circle with a little handle. For my frying pan, I did want to add a little bit of depth, so I am making sure that the center is lowered down a little bit than the edges. That way it can look a little bit more like a real pan. I did go ahead and cure the frying pan. Now taking the white trippy gel, I'm going to take a small amount of this and place it down in the center of the pan. This is going to be the egg white. I'm just smoothing this down and I am going to make the edges a little bit wavy to make it look like a realistic egg. I did go ahead and cure that, and now I'm taking the orange trippy gel and I'm going to apply a very small bead of this in the center of the egg for the yolk. I believe that for the original frying pan that I made, I did mix in a tiny bit of yellow, but for this, I'm just going to use the straight orange. You do kind of want to blend down the edges of the ball, that way it looks a little bit more like a realistic egg. Once I've done the yolk, I did go ahead and cure. Taking the matte gel top coat once again, I'm going to go ahead and apply this to the entire nail charm. Now you can apply the top coat before doing the egg, but I just wanted to go ahead and top coat the entire thing. You do not have to apply this over top of your egg. I did go ahead and cure that, and now I'm going back with the micro detailer and the glossy gel top coat from NailzByDev to apply this to the egg. Do make sure not to get any of the shiny gel onto your frying pan. Of course, I did go ahead and cure. Now I'm taking these rings that I got from Amazon. It is a nail piercing kit. I definitely recommend it. I do believe that these are O-rings. If they're not actually called that, I'm sorry, but that's what I'm going to be calling them. I am just taking out these silver ones and you will be needing 2 of these for the frying pan. These are pretty flimsy. I feel like they bend pretty easily, but they do work well enough for nail charms. You want to go ahead and detach the nail form. If you have any excess gel on the side, you can go ahead and take a file and gently file that off. You can also cure the back if you have any uncured gel, and you can also apply a top coat, but I did just skip both of that because I didn't have any issues with this gel curing. So taking the piercing tool, I'm just going to go ahead and start making a little hole at the end of the handle. This tool is absolutely amazing. It goes through any product, super easy, acrylic, dip powder, it goes through polygel as well as gel products. Definitely recommend this thing. It is sharp and works extremely well. So once you have your little hole, you want to take your pliers and pick up your O-ring and go ahead and slide that in. I'm going to go ahead and add the second O-ring and close the first one. And that is the frying egg pan charm. I love this thing. I did make 2 of them. Let's go ahead and do the shrimp. So for the shrimp, I am just starting out with the white trippy gel, and I'm taking a pretty decent amount of this. I'm going to go ahead and start shaping this into a shrimp shape, which is kind of just a U, or kind of like a circle that's not connected. I will be adding some red and orange trippy gel as well. I'm starting out with the orange color, and I'm just placing this towards the outer and middle areas of the shrimp. The center part of the shrimp is going to be white, and the outer areas are more like orange and red. This does not have to be perfect. These colors are going to be kind of marbled. You can marble the red and orange trippy gel before placing it, but for this one, I just wanted to do everything individually. After applying the orange gel, I did go in with the red. You do not want to put too much red, as I learned from the shrimp tacos, but you do want to have a little bit of red for some contrast. Once you have all of the colors, you want to kind of marble them just a little bit, and then you can start shaping the final shrimp shape. For mine, I did want to have a defined tail, so that is just what I'm doing down here at the bottom. I did add a little bit more of the red. I think I failed to mention up until this point, but if your trippy gel is getting difficult to work with, just use a little bit of rubbing alcohol on your sculpting tool. Going back with the little hooks, I'm going to go ahead and place this down inside of the shrimp. You do want to try to make sure to hide the entire stem twisty part of the hook, because you do not want that to be sticking out. This also gives it a little bit more sturdiness. You don't have to worry about the hook easily falling out. Of course, after placing the hook, I'm just going to re-sculpt the gel around it, and we are going to go ahead and cure. After curing the gel, I am going back with the glossy gel top coat, and I'm going to go ahead and top coat the nail charm. Of course, you want to go ahead and cure that. After you take it off of the nail form, you may want to add a little bit more of the trippy gel to the back, just because the hook may be showing through. I did cure that, and of course I applied the glossy gel top coat as well. After curing, you want to go ahead and add your second O-ring to the hook that is inside of the shrimp. So now we're going to go ahead and apply the nail charms to the press-ons. So I'm just going down to the corner of the press-on nail with the piercing tool, and we're going to start twisting that, and that is going to create the hole. Do put a little bit of pressure, but be careful not to slide it across the nail. I kind of did that with the first one, but it's not extremely noticeable. You may want to push it in and out a few times to make the hole a little bit bigger. Remove some of the extra nail product and go ahead and place your nail charm. I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same process for the other 2 nails. For the Cooking Mama nail, I will be using the frying egg pan, and of course for the shrimp taco nail, I will be doing the shrimp. And here are the press-ons. I love this set so much. It is very extra. I love the length, I love the colors, the theme is amazing. I really like the 3D food, and the character turned out pretty well. I just really love everything about this nail set. Let me tell you, I did put these on with some sticky tabs, and I left them on for about an hour, and I was extremely frustrated. The length is a little bit hard for me to get adjusted to, just because I don't wear this length very often. If I do, I don't leave them on very long, and the nail charms were getting in the way of everything. They were so loud. I could not wear this set for more than a day, but they are very cute, and I love the creativity that I had with the set. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Do make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!